Hello. Um, begin like a violin, end like Leviathan. Begin like a violin, end like Leviathan. That was one of the first hip-hop lines that blew me away. Uh, it was a rapper called Nas who said it. I have no idea what it means. Uh, but I remember listening to it and thinking that it meant something. I was born and raised in Stockholm. I was a book nerd, so I tried to understand it. I understood the first part, begin like a violin, nicely, with a smile. One should begin, and then end like Leviathan. I didn't know that word, so this was pre-Google in the 90s, so I went to the library because that was my safest place. That's where I hung out, and I went there to look up Leviathan, and I found out that it was a huge sea monster from the Bible, ferocious and bloodthirsty. So begin nice, and then end like a sea monster. I'm starting off there because that's where it started off for me. When I'm a writer, I write novels and plays, but I begin dreaming of becoming Sweden's first gangster rapper. And I think that's maybe what you saw when I came on stage, is it Snoop or is it Jonas Hassen Khemiri? No, it's actually, I'm not the person who you think I am, even though I look so extremely cool. I think that I wanted to become like the Sweden's equivalent of Ice Cube or Ice-T or anyone with ice in the name, because there was a link, nation-wise, ice, and I desperately tried to, understand the language that they use, which was very tricky because I spoke Swedish English. Even now, I think it's terrible, but I very clearly hear the Swedishness in my voice. The tone is very Swedish, and no matter how much I tried to sound like my idols, I always came out sounding very Swedish. So there was something in my voice that I couldn't escape myself, but still I had this dream to become someone else with the use of my words. Of course, my growing up in Stockholm, in the city of Hornstull, was very far from Bed-Stuy or Compton. And what my idols were writing about, their realities were very far from it. We didn't share background, ethnicity. On the superficial level, we were not the same person. But something strange happened. Their words, through some kind of magic, came into my brain and changed me. I saw the world with new eyes thanks to their lyrics. I realized that one could be courageous. I was very uncourageous, and I think that was one of the reasons why I started writing, because I listened to a number of rappers who, especially I think it was linked to like linguistic courage, because they didn't respect linguistics or grammar. I came from a home where everyone said it's super important to speak perfect Swedish. That's the key to the society. I think that comes from the fact that we had a lot of people surrounding us who were not accepted because they'd made small grammatical errors. They knew that if they didn't speak perfect Swedish, that would be a reason to exclude them, to not give them the job that they deserve, not give them the apartment that they tried to get, not let them into a certain bar. We are a society full of discrimination, and language was for them the key to become accepted. These rappers didn't accept grammar, they played around with grammar. They had a very free relationship to rules. I remember one rapper called Ras Kass. In a freestyle rhyme, he said to his opponent, he said, curse word, I will pancake your lung. And I was like 13 thinking, okay, I know the pancake. He will actually, I have no idea what that meant. He took the noun and it became a word. I did not want my lung to be pancaked, but I was very, I felt that it was almost like the courage entered me, and I started writing, trying to find my own voice. I think the second reason was that these rappers or these texts or these stories, ultimately it's a it shows the power of storytelling. Their lyrics made me feel less alone because they talked about things like poverty, inequality, police oppression, even though my experiences were very far from theirs. Small things, like walking around Stockholm, entering a shopping mall, being followed for 45 minutes by a security guard, sitting in a park, being approached by police officers who ask you for your ID without no apparent reason, just because you have to, by some strange reason, prove that you are a part of, the whole. There's something in what they were saying, even though we were from different nations and from different, many things separating us. There was something that was linking us together, and the magic of storytelling made that come alive. I never became a rapper. I wrote extremely crappy rap songs, often ending with the word E, the sound E, because that's super. You can sound smart in English if because there are a lot of prophecy, democracy, time to be free. I don't drink coffee, I drink tea. You could just like shove all these things in, and you become like a rapper. It's super. You could use it any time if you would like to become a rapper. But I never achieved that. What I did was I continued writing. I became bitten by the magic of words, and I wrote novels and I wrote plays. And I think one thread throughout has been trying to use my words to escape categorization, to escape simplified ethnic ways of describing the world, because I had never seen the world that way. Sometimes on a good day, it feels like it's possible, that words do work. I can stand in front of you and say, the magic of storytelling. Sometimes when I read the bio that presents me here today, I think that words don't work. Because for some strange reason, it was very important to ethnically categorize that my father was born a certain place and my mother was born in another place. And that, for some strange reason, was very important to say. I think that was a sea monster bit. I started off with a violin bit, and this was a sea monster bit. I was asked to come here to read something, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read a very short excerpt from my latest novel called I Call My Brothers, which starts off with a real event that took place only a few hundred meters from here. In 2010, there was a man, a suicide bomber, who took his own life. He exploded his car, and he had an explosive belt, and he created a reaction in Sweden, which was a counter-reaction, which was very interesting. A lot of people media outlets started describing our society as if all of a sudden evil had arrived, because evil hadn't been here before. Evil had arrived from elsewhere, right? Because evil is not a part of this room or this creative summit or this nation. It came from outside. So I would like to read just a few lines from this novel that deals with nations, that deals with fear of the other, and that deals with loneliness, maybe. So this will be my end of these 10 minutes. I call my brothers and say, something really sick just happened. Have you heard? A man, a car, 2 explosions in the middle of the city. I call my brothers and say, no one died. No one was hurt. Well, one person died. He died. He who is not our brother. But of course, some people will try to link him to us. His name, his origins, the color of his hair, similar enough or not similar at all. I call my brothers and say, watch out. Lie low for a few days. Lock the door, pull the curtains. If you have to go out, don't carry any sort of suspicious bag. Blend in, make yourselves invisible, transform yourselves into gas form. It's very easy. I call my brothers and say, forget what I said. Fuck silence. Fuck invisibility. Go out on the town wearing only Christmas lights. Put on neon coveralls, orange grass skirts. Make yourselves maximally visible until they understand that there is an opposition. Defend the rights of all idiots to be idiots until you lose your voice, until you die. I call my brothers and say, something really sick just happened. I got on the subway and caught sight of an extremely suspicious individual. He had black hair and an unusually large backpack. It took a split second before I realized that it was my reflection. Thank you.